Happy Roman Reigns.
Happy Roman Reigns.
Happy Roman Reigns.
Happy Roman Reigns.
Happy Roman
Yo,
Reigns.
man, happy Roman Reigns.
Happy Roman
Happy
Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
Ah, another.
Corporate Mike.
Oh no. Boss man.
This is my yard now.
Hey, boss man! Good to see ya! You look good. You been working out? Man, you've been hitting the gym. Look at those guns. You better stop that. Before long, Brock Lesnar's gonna throw a hissy fit. Cause you know how he gets. I'm in trouble, am I?
Corporate Mike. The WWE is not happy.
Look, I get it. You're upset that fans haven't been showing up to the shows. I understand the frustration, and yeah, show attendance has been kinda low, but understand me, it'll all be alright. It's only seasonal. When WrestleMania comes around, they'll be flocking to us, baby. Especially when they see that main event at WrestleMania.
Mike.
Okay, sure, I get it. The network subscriptions have been, let's just say, stagnant. Not the best in the world. But you know what? When it comes to that India tour, and when WrestleMania season comes around, boom, bam, done.
Mike.
We're really trying with the Cruiserweight division, man. I don't know what else we can do. We put Kalisto in there, we put Enzo in there, we're bringing in Hideo Itami, but people aren't watching, man. I don't know why. Maybe they'll turn it around. Maybe. I don't know.
Mike! Why are the fans still booing Roman Reigns?
Huh? Oh, that's what's bothering you?
We've been pushing him hard for 3 years straight now. And Mr. McMahon is getting impatient. What is the deal?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, man. Fans are gonna be fans. Hell, we can hire back the great Khali, have him wrestle Hornswoggle in the main event, and they'll still watch. They're like children, eating their vegetables. They'll hate it, but they'll appreciate it when they're older.
Can you not comprehend how embarrassing it is having the top guy that fails to connect with the masses?
But come on, he does connect. I mean, sure, he gets booed by 60, 70% of the audience, but you know what? At least he's getting a reaction. That's something you can't say half of these nerds can do.
That is an empty argument we make for gullible marks that know more than they should. We are the WWE. We don't just run the business, we own the business. For years, we've created top guys that are universally adored. Legends like Hulk Hogan, heroes like The Undertaker, megastars like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, and John Cena. Yet for some reason, our company has failed to produce that same level of prominence. Every top guy we have is despised by half of our audience, and we want to know why.
Well, boss, I can assure you things will work out over time. We have the best creative minds in the world, and WrestleMania will be the best ever. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get in touch with them.
Oh, you better, for your sake.
Oh, one last thing. Please don't fire me. Thanks.
Oh, and Mike, always remember, happy Roman Reigns. Oh, that's funny.
I'm gonna lose my job. I am going to lose my job. This is ridiculous. How the hell do they expect these marks to appreciate the majesty that is Roman Reigns? All they care about are these flipping, kicking spot monkeys that can't even set out my backyard, let alone an arena. There's gotta be something we can do. There's gotta be something. But what? I mean, he's done everything except... Wait. Except... Yes! I got it! Wait. What if he wins the Royal Rumble? Yeah. And then he fights AJ Styles for the championship. Alright, yeah. Better yet, when he beats AJ Styles, he fights Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Yeah. Damn, I'm a genius. I love this job. It would be crazy not to accept this. My God, this guy is gonna be a star. Yes. No. What? Jimmy! How's that? Joke's old, Mike. What do you want? Well, it's funny to me, so. Anyways, I had the perfect idea for this year's WrestleMania. Let me guess. You want to do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34. Why am I not surprised? Imagine it. The only two men in history to defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. A feat many have tried, but failed. Legends like Jake Roberts, Kevin Nash, Kane, Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, HBK, and... him. Such an accomplishment can only be worthy of the greatest of all time. And we have two gladiators staking their claim at that title. However, there's only room for one man on top. The question is, who will conquer this mountain? We'll find out at WrestleMania. You like that slogan, don't you? Who truly is the greatest of all time? What a tagline. Again. What do you mean again? Mike, this might be hard to accept, if not beyond impossible. But maybe, just maybe, Roman Reigns isn't the big dog he says he is. Now don't get me wrong, Roman Reigns is a great talent. Some might say he's extraordinary. He has a unique look, great presence, and the ability to grab a mainstream audience. I know people who don't even watch wrestling that in conversation like to bring up Roman Reigns. It's more in a negative light, but it's hard to deny his star power. There have been very few larger-than-life personas that couldn't help but bleed out into the mainstream media. Outside of tragedies and newsworthy controversies, people like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and John Cena are adored by the general public. But Roman Reigns... Wait, let me finish that statement. He's a god among insects. No. He's despised. In fact, a major part of who he is revolves around the fact wrestling fans hate him and everyone knows it. The animosity shown by fans on a weekly basis has basically become an integral part of his character. We've become conditioned to him being booed. Hell, unless he's with the Shield, if he ever manages to get people to get behind him, it will feel out of place. Come on, James. You know like I know, not everyone hates Roman Reigns. Besides, the ones who hate him tend to hate everyone we push to the top. You can't please them no matter how hard we try. Although that may be true in some cases, you can't use that as a blanket statement to explain why a majority of our fan base thinks he sucks. It's easy to say, it's cool to hate Roman Reigns, if you aren't willing to analyze the situation. And unless we do, it doesn't matter how many main events he has at WrestleMania, fans will continue to hate Roman Reigns. And it could last his entire career. Whatever. Alright, Johnny, I'll bite. Why do you think fans don't like Roman Reigns? Well, that's the thing. Fans didn't just decide to hate Roman Reigns all at once. The Roman Reigns hate is a result of numerous horrible decisions we as a promotion made during his rise. Every week on social media, we hear complaints like, he's a terrible babyface, he's a horrible talker, he has no personality, his music is old, his gear is old, He smiles too much, he wins too much, and most importantly, he's pushed way too hard. So what? Those are opinions, they're not facts. You know what facts are? Top merchandise seller, a special guest on highly regarded talk shows, a feature on magazine covers, a horde of screaming fangirls fainting over you at every show, selling out 100,000 seats at WrestleMania. Those are what matter, Jimmy. And I'm not discounting that, Mike, but isn't it a little unusual that a man this talented is hated this much and this consistently? Think about it. Everyone loved Roman Reigns when he debuted with The Shield in 2012. I can remember people saying this guy is going to be a future star, well before he even won his first championship. And whether fans like it or not, they'd be lying if they said they weren't behind Roman Reigns winning the 2014 Royal Rumble over Batista. What's impossible to ignore is how fast the fans turned on him within a span of a year. I've never seen this much hate manifested in such a short time over one man. Even some of the greatest heels in wrestling couldn't generate heat this much. And it's their job to make fans hate them. Not even X-Pac had this much heat, and that's saying something. Oh, wait. You're telling me Roman Reigns has more heat than the guy whose heat was so massive it created its own wrestling term? X-Pac heat? That scrawny midget with zero appeal, an annoying voice, and wrestled the same match until he retired? Next you'll tell me fans will coin a new wrestling term, Roman Reigns heat. Whatever. But it's not just about a character or a wrestling style. Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan wrestled the same match for decades and sold out arenas nationwide. Wrestlers like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Jake the Snake Roberts, and The Rock, for all intents and purposes, should be hated for the things they've done and said, but could get the loudest pops out of anybody on the roster. The problem isn't a style or character, it's the lack of relatable human development. It's the idea that fans realize no matter what we do or say, Roman Reigns isn't going anywhere, and he's not showing any signs of changing or growing as a character. He just shows up with the same gear, the same entrance with the same music, and wrestles the same match with the same finishers, and acts like he's the hottest act in the world. After a while, it's not hard to understand why fans get sick of seeing him, because he brings nothing new to the table. To make a point, let's say word got out that WWE released one of the referees. No one would care because they add nothing to the show. But if they release, let's say, an AJ Styles or a Daniel Bryan, they would lose their minds because both men have shown different types of development in their personas, and through these changes have helped fans grow a human connection with their characters. As a fan, why should I care about Roman Reigns when I know I can stop watching WWE for 6 months straight, turn the show on, and see the exact same person I saw when I stopped watching? This is the same reason why fans booed John Cena for over a decade, hated X-Pac when he left to Generation X, and turned on Hulk Hogan in the early 90s before he went Hollywood. But you're wrong there, Johnny boy. We have developed Roman Reigns. He's a Grand Slam champion, a Royal Rumble winner, a member of the Samoan Dynasty, a Survivor Series sole survivor, a 3-time WWE World Champion, one of the only 2 people to defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and he has a long list of victories over some of the biggest names in WWE history. Even as the IC champion, he did weekly open challenges and showed the world how much of a workhorse champion he was. That's not development though. All those things are fruitless props and accolades that add nothing to who he is. Look, we can spend the rest of his career having him beat every wrestler in the main event of every pay-per-view, but at the end of the day, no one cares about what he's won or who he beats if they get nothing out of it. I go back to his days in the Shield. What made fans invest in Roman Reigns was the genuine brotherhood he had with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Each character brought something new to the table. Dean Ambrose was the lunatic, Seth Rollins was the calculated risk taker, and Roman Reigns was the muscle that finished off opponents in their matches. The silent assassin worked perfectly for Roman because it played to his strengths and hid his weaknesses. A man of few words who destroys all opponents in the name of brotherhood and respect? That's badass! But then the Shield broke up, And instead of letting Roman Reigns naturally develop a character over a year to where fans feel like he warrants that main event spot, we impatiently shoved him in that main event spot with zero changes to his character almost immediately. Within 6 months, he's winning the Royal Rumble, beating top guys, and main eventing WrestleMania to the dismay of fans who wanted to see other talent earn that opportunity. Meanwhile, his former co-hosts, Ambrose and Rollins, have developed brand new personalities, new entrances, and a new look while Roman still wrestles in the exact same damn vest that he had in the Shield. Who is this guy? Why is he here? Why is he a wrestler? Why should I, as a fan, invest any of my time caring about him when I don't know who he is or what he's all about outside the Shield? He's related to The Rock? My point exactly. We gave him too much way too soon. Roman at that time didn't have the microphone skills or the understanding of who he is to be a main event player. It's bad enough when our writers have him say stupid stuff like suffering succotash and tater tots and cutting Jack in the Beanstalk promos, but it's 10 times worse when Roman hasn't even established a character yet. No wonder fans say his promos suck. It doesn't matter how many 5-star matches he has, they don't know enough about him to care. And let's be honest, as a company, not even the WWE knows who Roman Reigns is. Yet here we are, still stubbornly pushing him as our next top guy and ignoring all the essentials that are needed for him to flourish in that spot. And guess what? The fans see it and they're rebelling against it. So my question is, why are we still pushing him? Why? Because we can. We're the WWE. We don't need to explain ourselves, who we are, why we do anything. If we want Roman Reigns to be a main event player, he will be a main event player. Fans can cry, complain, and hijack the shows all they want. They don't call the shots. Only one man calls the shots, and his name is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And last I checked, Mr. McMahon wanted Roman Reigns to be our top guy. So get used to seeing him in the main event picture until Mr. McMahon says otherwise. Oh, what's that? Fans don't like it? Oh, you don't like it? Too bad! Because at the end of the day, we're still gonna make money, baby. We've never concerned ourselves with the public opinion. If fans don't like it, they can stop watching, and we'll continue appealing to the ones that do. That's how the business world works. That's a horrible business mindset, and you know it. Huh, maybe, but it doesn't matter because we both know these crybaby wrestling fans aren't going anywhere. They're incapable of quitting us because professional wrestling is a significant part of their lives. If I'm not mistaken, the average hardcore fan has been watching wrestling since the 90s, if not the 80s. We're talking almost 30 years of dedication to our business. You can't just stop being a fan after that. Even if they aren't a fan of our product nowadays, they'll still watch out of habit. Wrestling is like that girlfriend you're always arguing with, but for whatever reason, you can't leave. And even when you do leave, you can't stop thinking about her, and you eventually come back. That happens all the time, even to the wrestlers. Why do you think Triple H keeps wrestling when he doesn't need to? Why do you think The Rock keeps coming back when he doesn't need to? Why do all these legends and Hall of Famers, even knowing their bodies are in bad shape, keep wrestling in their 40s and 50s? Because it's in their blood. Hardcore fans can't let this go, no matter how hard they try. So why worry about it? Because it's wrong. You shouldn't take advantage of your fan base like that. Any business that does that is destined to fail because the fan base will eventually leave. We have to make our customers happy. Huh, really now? Tell me how that worked out for ECW. Oh, Jesus. No, Jamie, since you know everything, tell me all about the flourishing business ECW has. Oh wait, they don't have a business no more. You wanna know why? Because wrestling fans are fickle. They don't know what they want, and when they get what they want, they all of a sudden don't want it no more. Every person we pushed, they felt were stars, they have turned on. Which is fine if they would at least buy a damn ticket, but no, they can't even be bothered to spend $9.99 a month to be lazy and watch the show from their couches at home. But then, when we put Roman Reigns in the main event, they'll spend $300 just to get front row seats to boo him, then throw a review up on YouTube trashing the show. Look at our quarter earnings. We're hitting records, baby. We've made $180 million this past quarter, and that number is not dropping anytime soon. Not even during your precious Attitude Era did we make that much money. Right or wrong, these people are their own worst enemy, and it's great business for us. So, again, why change? Because it's not always about the money, Mike. I don't know what happened to the WWE I grew up with, but there was a time we actually took pride in our product. It wasn't always about buzzwords and what's trending on Twitter. It was about producing the best show possible every week. We didn't go with the trend, we were the trend. Now all we care about is hashtags, talk shows, movies, and how many likes we can get on Instagram. Ironically, it kinda does make sense for Roman Reigns to be the top guy because he represents everything wrong with the WWE. We don't know who we are. Hell, we don't even know what we are anymore. Our show presentation is so outdated, it doesn't even appeal to a massive audience anymore. And yet here we are, shoving our product down the fans' throats and telling them it tastes good with a smile. Then anytime the fans express themselves, you laugh in their faces and tell them to stop watching because you got their money anyways. Call me crazy, but maybe when fans boo Roman Reigns, they're not booing the talent, they're booing the WWE. What? That's crazy. Is it, Mike? Is it crazy to think fans hate Roman Reigns because they see how this push is throwing the rest of the product out of shape? Is it crazy to think fans know how talented Roman Reigns is and see many other routes we could take to help him become a megastar? Is it crazy to think fans are not gullible and self-assured as WWE believes them to be? Maybe in the 1980s you can get away with pushing someone like Reigns to this extent, and it worked. Fans are smart to the business now. They see the way strings are pulled, and they don't like when their intelligence is insulted. You can't just tell the audience to like someone and expect them to do it. Like any other TV show, you get them to invest through storytelling and character development. Not only through triumph and defeat, but also through building a relationship with the fan base. Instead of letting Roman find himself, we've created this artificial Samoan Brock Lesnar with no personality, let alone no Paul Heyman, that removes all essence of why fans liked him in the first place. We have zero faith in Roman Reigns getting himself over, yet at the same time, we tell the fans, this guy is gonna main event WrestleMania again, hoping one day they'll just give up and start liking him all of a sudden. Every week, this push continues, is an insult to the fans' intelligence, and until it changes, they will continue to reject it. Jimmy, you're overreacting. Nobody hates the WWE, and nobody thinks Roman Reigns is artificial. Now, I'll admit we've stumbled with his push initially in 2014, but it all worked out in the end. Roman Reigns has improved significantly as an overall talent. His promos are serviceable, and his matches are top quality. In the last 2 years, he's put on consistently good to great pay-per-view main events. His 2 matches with AJ Styles last year were, pun intended, phenomenal. His series of matches with Braun Strowman this year could easily win him Feud of the Year. He created a ton of buzz with John Cena months ago, and even sold a ton of merchandise when he reunited with The Shield. He's doing great now, in my opinion. I think fans are still hung up on his 2015 Royal Rumble victory. Not because Roman won, but because their precious Daniel Bryan didn't win. Look, we get it. The fans love Daniel Bryan, and I'm sure it hurts knowing he will never truly reap the rewards of his Cinderella push he got. But the reality is, he was way too injury prone to trust in the main event. Not only that, if he had won that Rumble, then he would be in line to face Brock Lesnar? That's one of the biggest mismatches I've ever seen, and we all know it. There's no way Bryan could have believably beaten Brock Lesnar one-on-one. But a 6'3" Samoan badass who almost weighs 300 pounds? Absolutely. Maybe we didn't know what to do with Roman at first, but to his credit, Roman has made the most of the situation. He's using the fans' boos to reinforce this idea that he's a guy unfazed by world problems and lets all challenges bounce right off of him, like, dare I say, a shield. How many wrestlers do you know can stand in the face of 100,000 fans booing him, take the heat, and still keep coming. If that doesn't make a top guy for any promotion, I don't know what does. So wait, if Roman Reigns is capable of working under heat, and we have no intentions of changing his booking, why push him as a babyface? Nonsense. He's one of the biggest babyfaces in wrestling. No, Mike, seriously. This guy may as well be a heel right now. Every time a crowd boos him, he always retorts in a smug-like manner. He's self-conscious of WWE's favoritism towards him and relishes the unlimited opportunities he's given as if it's deserved. He doesn't just think he's the guy, he knows he's the guy. He's constantly making mentions of how good he looks, and he hardly takes anybody seriously. Oh, not a big deal, but there's also this little fact that he ended The Undertaker's career. Why on God's green earth would anybody cheer this guy? Time and time again, we tell the audience their voices matter, but then go out of our way to ignore them or manipulate footage and audio to hide it. All it does is encourage them to keep booing. Why fight it? Why not go with it? Play to his strengths. He clearly feels comfortable being a loner and going against the grain. We can help Reigns build a relationship with the audience by making them pay to see him get beat. Imagine all the amazing feuds and matches he could be having if we went down this route. Imagine the kind of audience we can get just to see someone punch him in the face. Imagine the pop he'll get when the audience is finally ready to accept him as their guy. This is exactly what we did with The Rock when fans rejected him as Rocky Maivia, and look at the sensation he became. We can do the same thing with Roman Reigns. Look, that might have worked with The Rock in the 90s, but we can't just up and make Roman Reigns a villain out of the blue. That would screw way too many things up, including our quarter earnings.
Damn it, enough!
Talk about money. Don't you understand we've literally run out of things to do because we've given him everything? After he beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, there's nothing left. There will be no more obstacles to overcome and no more people to beat. The push ends. From that point forward, it will be extremely difficult to sway the audience's opinion. Let me write the heel turn. It'll be easy. Here's an idea. We can have Paul Heyman grow fond of Roman and then turn on Lesnar at WrestleMania, thus aligning himself with a much younger Roman Reigns. This way, Roman can go back to being that silent assassin that was awesome in The Shield and just focus on having good to great matches while Heyman does all the talking for him. Or maybe we can have him into the Royal Rumble this year, get eliminated at the last second, snap, and attack the Royal Rumble winner. Then next year, for WrestleMania 35, we can call in The Rock and set up a blockbuster main event match. It'll be the ultimate family feud, Samoan versus Samoan, and it would be the perfect retirement match for The Rock.
I can go all day, Mike.
Jack. Mike, you gotta... Wait, you said my name correctly. Believe me when I say I would love nothing more than to do any of those things. And as a Roman Reigns fan, the idea of him finally showing a personality sounds kinda nice. Are you agreeing with me? Understand when I say this. Your heart is in the right place, but you can't help Roman Reigns. It's too late. What? I say it's too late, Jack! He's done! Whoa, Mike, take it easy. You don't get it, do you? You can't turn this around. This is me speaking as a Roman Reigns fan. You're right, Jack. We screwed up. Ever since he left the Shield, we've sorely mishandled the rise of Roman Reigns. We knew he wasn't ready the night he beat Randy Orton at SummerSlam, but we did nothing. Even when he got hurt and returned from injury, we knew it was too soon, but we still didn't pull back. Perhaps the worst day of my life was Royal Rumble 2015 when I witnessed 20,000 fans unanimously boo my favorite wrestler out of the arena. And every week we put on the show, I am constantly reminded of that night and how badly we messed up. It's to the point fans won't even acknowledge how good his matches are. This man could kill Adolf Hitler and be the next coming of Jesus. Fans will still boo him. Hell, fans hate Roman Reigns so much they boo The Rock. The Rock, Jack. The Rock! But it's not Roman's fault, Mike. It's circumstances. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Even if we wanted to, we can't even turn him heel now. Not only is Vince McMahon adamantly against it, we don't even have anyone to counterbalance him if he did go heel. Who's gonna replace him, Jack? Who can replace him as the top babyface? A 40-year-old AJ Styles? A lukewarm Seth Rollins, a stale Dean Ambrose, an injury-prone Randy Orton, a past his prime John Cena? Hey, maybe we'll actually give Dolph Ziggler and Cesaro a shot. Ha! Yeah, right. Maybe we'll have enough balls to bring Daniel Bryan back and let him wrestle. It's not happening! I mean, we can't overlook Braun Strowman. Fans love him. And what about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? I'm certain we can write them in top babyface spots. We also got plenty of very talented NXT wrestlers that haven't even come up yet. People like Drew McIntyre, Johnny Gargano, and Aleister Black. I'm sure there's something we can do. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. The corporate suits couldn't care less about the product. In fact, the idea of a quality wrestling show is foreign to them. They just want to abuse our business, bleed it for all the money it's worth, and then move back to Hollywood, never to speak of it again. The only thing these pathetic SNL Hollywood wannabe writers care about is themselves and what the company can do for them. That's why we've lost the ability to tell a coherent story. Hell, it's so bad, we can't even follow our own continuity. That's why so many wrestlers would rather go work elsewhere instead of the one place they've spent their entire careers trying to get to. Because eventually, they realize the WWE is not the land of milk and honey it once was. It's a sorry excuse of a TV show that's only watched by a dwindling fan base of hardcore fans that either do it out of habit or because they've somehow maintained hope that things will get better. Holy crap, they've actually broken you. As much as I want him to be the guy, the day Roman Reigns defeats Brock Lesnar will be the beginning of the end, because that will be the moment WWE realizes there's nowhere else for him to go. And once Vince McMahon finally accepts Roman Reigns isn't the top guy he envisioned him as, despite all the years of championships and main events, he's finished. History will show Roman Reigns just could not connect, and it will be because of our sheer incompetence to book a strong babyface. I mean, from that point on, what is left for Roman to do? Win another Rumble? Main event another WrestleMania? He's already beaten every other wrestler on the roster, unless he loses 100 pounds and joins the Cruiserweight division. The man has done it all. So why stay? Why stay and continue to shorten your lifespan in a business you've already accomplished everything in? The sad part is, if Roman was to leave, we just replace him and start the entire process all over again. It doesn't matter who it is. They will get the exact same reaction as Roman got. That's what happened to Cena, and he left. And when he's gone, he won't leave behind a legacy of championships or who he's beat or what he's done. He will leave behind a legacy of being given everything by the WWE and never being accepted as the guy. And there's no one popular enough in the WWE's eyes to replace him. So he's done. Yeah, maybe he is. He looks pretty bad. Then again, maybe it's not too late. Maybe there is one thing that can save Roman's career. Better yet, maybe this one thing can save the product altogether. It's Roman Reigns himself. Roman is highly aware the WWE favors him, which means he knows his words have power. Like other top guys before him, Reigns can use his position to speak out against issues plaguing the company's product and be a voice for the locker room. Not just for the men, but the women too. He can speak up against WWE's boring, out-of-touch philosophy of only having one dull, white-bread hero beating everybody all the time, and stand behind a much more diverse, interesting cast of real-life personas. If you think about great shows like Breaking Bad or Firefly, most of the main characters aren't necessarily good people. They're just people. They're people with their own flaws and stories to tell, and anytime they interact with each other, it's compelling. NXT understands this philosophy and has incorporated it into their own shows. Each wrestler is the focus of his or her own story, and we the fans get to watch them develop throughout their journey. This is why NXT talents like Asuka tend to be more appealing than 90% of the main roster. If anything, Roman Reigns understands this because the Shield is a perfect representation of what the WWE should be. It wasn't one man that made the Shield work, it was the unit, and that is what's gonna make the WWE work. A unit, a family, a roster where everyone, commentary, ring announcer, and the wrestlers themselves bring something new to the table. As good as he is, Roman Reigns cannot and will not get over by himself. Just like Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't get over by himself. He had a Vince McMahon to help him out. Just like The Rock didn't get over by himself. He had a Mankind and a Stone Cold Steve Austin to help him out. Just like the WWE did for others during the Attitude Era, Roman needs the WWE to create and facilitate a full roster of individuals with their own stories and personalities. Then, and only then, can Roman truly reach his full potential. There may never be a day where the audience fully accepts Roman Reigns as a hero, but that doesn't mean the fans aren't capable of respecting his contributions to the business. If Roman Reigns can't get over on screen, then he should try to get over off screen and push to make our business better. Maybe Roman will show us that he is, in fact, the guy. Well, for both our sakes, I hope you're right, Jimmy.
Jerk.